Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. In the last lecture, we have talked about the dialogue, memorization, backward build-up drill, repetition drill, and chain drill, and today we are going to talk about the rest. Okay, and let's start with single slot substitution. Substitution means to replace something instead of something else. And here, as we're working on this dialogue, in this drill, students will repeat a sentence from the dialogue and replace a word or a phrase. Okay, this word or this phrase that the teacher provide called cue. The teacher began with reciting a sentence from the dialogue or a line from the dialogue and provide cue by, for example, show a picture of a bank and say the bank. So students saying I'm going to the bank. The bank replaced, okay, instead of the post office or in place of the post office. Okay, then they continue. The teacher provide more cues: the cafe, the supermarket, the bus, the station, the football, and so on. Each cue is accompanied by a picture. Always the teacher say the word or say the phrase and provide the picture. But after a while, the teacher no longer provide a spoken cue. The teacher will not say the phrases, but only show a picture, and the students will change the statement or say the new statement. Another example with the single slot substitution, how are you? This example seems a little bit difficult. Why? That the students will work on you. Here we have the slot. Okay, to change you, okay, to use instead of you, he or she or they. But they have also to pay attention to what? To the are, to the verb to be. When, for example, the teacher say he or she, they should change also is. How is he? How is she? So when they change the slot or you, okay, the subject to pronoun you, they have to pay attention to verb to be. And this is the difficulty of this example. Okay, and then when they finish this this exercise or this activity, the teacher smiles and says good or very good. These words are very important to encourage students, okay, to help them to develop their ability in the target language. Then they move to the multiple slot substitution drill. And this is the same as the single slot, but they have two slots, two places to change, okay, or two phrases or two words they have to replace. And the teacher provide cues, okay. The teacher provide one cue at once, okay. Sometimes, for example, he says he, okay, and sometimes say bank or cafe or library or post office and so on. So students have to understand where to put the new cue, the new word. What is the appropriate place? What is the fit place for the new provided word or phrase? Then they move to the transformation drill, and in this drill, students have to change the form of the sentence or the type of the sentence from affirmative to negative, from active to passive, or to change the statement into a yes or no question. The teacher offers an example. She is going to the post office. You make a question and ask students to make a question. So here the students should say, is she going to the post office? Okay. Another example, are you going to the bus station? Okay, they have to answer this or to make no, I'm going to the supermarket. Okay, no and yes question. After that, they come to the grammar and they work on the mass and count nouns with a little or a few. But we have to note that there is no grammar rule will be explicitly explained by the teacher. The teacher will not explain a grammar rule, but students have to figure out, have to understand these things or the grammar rule from the examples that the teacher provide from the sentences they work on. Then they move to pronunciation drill. And here contrastive analysis, comparative of two languages between their native language and target language. The teacher work on the contrastive between short E and long E. She use minimal pair. Okay, for example, ship, sheep, live, leave, his, his. Word, and the teacher work on minimal pair words to get her students to hear what the difference in pronunciation between the words in each pair. So to understand, to figure out, or to understand and to hear the difference between these words. Then they move to writing the dialogue or providing the missing words. The teacher may ask the students to write the dialogue or provide them a dialogue with some missing words, and the students have to provide the missing words. Then they move to the supermarket alphabet game, and this is an important activity. For example, here we have examples. The first student says, I'm going to the supermarket, I need a few apples. Okay? The next student, or the second one, says, I'm going to the supermarket, he needs a few apples, I need a little bread, or a few banana, or any other food item that the students can find in the supermarket beginning with the letter B. The third student will repeat the first two students' sentences or phrases and add his own. I'm going to the supermarket, he needs a few apple, she needs a little bread, I need a little cheese. Okay? So the game continues with each player adding an item that began with the next letter, okay, in the alphabet. Before adding his or her own item, however, each player must mention the item of the previous students. Okay? So repeat the previous student's statement or sentences and then add his own statement. Free discussion. Here, the last activity, in this activity, on this discussion, a presentation by the teacher on supermarket in the United States follow the game. The teacher talks about the supermarket in the United States and the difference between supermarkets in the United States and the open air markets in Mali. Okay, and then they move to talk about football teams and football and the different in the two countries in the United States and in Mali. So it's a free discussion for the students to also to develop or to use the words or the sentence they have learned from this lesson, and also to develop their ability in communication or in talking about this topic. Okay, thank you.